What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got an X1 in for a coolant leak. We still got to diag the X5 oil leak, which what I tried didn't work, but I have an idea of what it might be. And then back to working on the E30 and try and get that thing out of here. Little late start, had to go get my haircut, got my little guy his haircut, dropped him off at the babysitter. So it's on to work now. Let's get some work done. And then tonight, we're gonna start tearing down that e39 motor. So there's gonna be a separate video for that, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, let's get to work. Be able to go to the 36-volt system once I get there. Let's see what's going on underneath here. It's got a coolant leak somewhere, they said. Somebody painted that? Oh, it's replaced. All right, let's grab a flashlight. Got a flashlight. It's definitely leaking coolant, spewing it back that way. Pretty sure. It's got an oil leak for sure. Oh yeah, oil cooler. It's leaking bad. Did it just prompt? What the heck's that about? Oh, battery discharge. Okay. So this thing's eating oil. The valve cover's leaking. Bad. Jeez. Let's see here. Let's get this guy down in here. Yeah. It looks like, so I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm looking at. So, you guys, this is bad. It's got a monstrous oil leak. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is just spewing oil, and it looks like it's let's pull the cover off here, maybe. So this is a N55, N54. What is this? N55, I guess. Sure, that's what it looks like. So anyways, it's got a crazy valve cover leak. The oil filter housing is leaking. The oil cooler is leaking. I'm guessing that's where his coolant leak's coming from. But all I see is oil leaking. It's got no drip tray, or the belly pan. Oh, maybe that. He told me he did something. I guess that's what he did. He took the belly pan off. That's not how you fix that. Gosh. I gotta take pictures, guys. Hang on a second. All right, so we're gonna put this thing up in the air. Make sure we look at it thoroughly. I think it's coming from the oil cooler area. Of course. That's what it looks like. So we'll know more once I get this up in the air. Okay, so for those that always wondered what to look for when you're buying a car, and this is just any car. I want to give you guys a little insight. You got to look underneath your cars when you're buying them. When you see stuff like this car came, I don't even know where it came from, but I can tell you it came from somewhere where they had worse road salt than what we have here. You see all that? That's like, you know, that's bad. So, I mean, it's not going to hurt nothing, but it's just going to get worse over time. But when you come back here and you see, you know, this car's like maybe 10 years old, and it like the diffs rusting like that. It just means somebody didn't take care of it. They drove it and they drove it like, you know what I mean? And yes, rust is going to happen for sure. But the other thing you need to check is like this car, for instance. I just know to look, but both the rear springs are busted. I don't know if you guys can, you probably can't see it, maybe up through the hole. But both the rear springs are busted. And that doesn't pass inspection, so somebody put stickers on it. But, you know, if you don't know to check that stuff, you just don't know. But at the same time, when you're doing inspection, you should be looking. Also, it is on a BMW that's all-wheel drive. It is not good to run two different style of tires. I just want you guys to know that. But this car has got, because the springs are busted, it needs an alignment. It's chewing tires hardcore. So that tire's all wore out. I think this car has staggered. Yeah, so there's staggered wheels. So, and this one's actually wearing on the outside. And if I had to bet, it obviously needs an alignment, but it needs front struts, I'm pretty sure. That's what it seems. Everything's pretty rusty and it looks like it's leaking up there. But anyways, so this car's here strictly for a coolant leak, but we are gonna quote him for everything. But it has got a massive oil leak. And on these N55s, a big common problem that happens with these is people shred the belt and then it gets sucked into the crankcase, and then you have to do you end up having to do the front crank seal, which is not a big deal, but you got to get all that material out. But it gets sucked into it. So anyways, I got to take some pictures and then do an estimate for this, and then this is going to go back outside. But yeah, I mean, when you just a little food for thought here, when you're looking at cars, if you don't know what you're looking at, take somebody that does. You know, I tell people all the time, hey, if you're looking at buying something, you know, especially if I'm going to service it, give me a shout. Like if I can schedule it, I'll go with you to look at it, or bring it here. We'll put it on the lift and we'll look at it. There's been a couple times where people have brought me cars and I'm like, yeah, don't buy this thing. It's going to need more work than what it's worth. So, yeah, so I'm just going to say that. But yeah, let me get to doing this. We're going to get this back outside, and then we'll go and we'll go back to, oh, sorry, I just flashed the light at your face. We'll go back to working on the X5. Trying to get you guys at a better view here. There we go. All right, so I'm actually currently taking off this piece here because I want to look down at the radiator, because it's really hard to tell if it's just moisture from driving it or if it's actually coolant. Usually when BMW coolant is used, it'll leave like a blue residue. But unfortunately, somebody has put I don't want to say wrong coolant, but I call it wrong coolant because that's what I like to call it, because that's what it realistically is. They put the wrong coolant in it. So whatever you want to say, it's got the wrong coolant in it. So I'm just going to call it that. But it's just so hard to see. And I think I'm just gonna have to pull the fan out. I think the flashlight's dying too. But I noticed there's a couple spots on the front side here where, like, I mean, that's just the condenser and stuff, but I can see the radiator and it's missing a whole bunch of coily things, fins. Call them coily things. Boy. Anyways. But it's just really hard to depict what's a coolant leak right now and what's an oil leak. So let's fire this up and see if we can see it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in maybe. That crank dampener is wobbling. Okay, so I am working on this estimate for this customer and quoting them for a valve cover, oil filter housing gasket kit because it's leaking there, the rear coil springs, coolant hoses, a coolant aluminum coolant flange because you can kind of just replace this one flange, coolant, labor, and a 4-wheel alignment. Hopefully this guy is sitting down when he reads this because, whew. And that's not even like the rear strut or the rear shocks are leaking, the front struts are leaking. There's just there's a pile of things that are obviously wrong with it. But you guys saw it. The oil leak is so bad. I don't even know. I mean, once replacing parts and then doing like a hardcore deep clean, pressure washing, degreasing, scrubbing to try and make sure. I actually think that the water pump was never done in the thermostat, so I believe that should be done. But I don't know. It's not my car. I can't make people do anything. I can just. It's time to move some vehicles around. We're going to pull this X1 out. I ordered some parts for the X5, so we're actually going to hold off on that. So next thing is going to be back over onto the E30. So I'm going to take and install this stainless steel braided line for the clutch line. So basically we're going to unhook this rubber line because they're known to crack over time. So this will be a much better upgrade for this application. So it's got two 13s that hold on. Well, the clutch slave, that is. So to do this, I like to remove the slave cylinder because, which apparently I can't get up there with this. Hang on a second. So I like to just remove the slave cylinder. It makes it easier to do this. And then grab a drip tray. So the hardline side is an 11. So I like to just get this off of here, which this is bent 6 ways this Sunday, which is not a big deal. It really isn't, but it's not ideal. But something you guys didn't see me do before I did all this was I actually pinched off the line from the brake master, but apparently I didn't do that good of a job because it's still leaking. So, but I like to take that side off, and then I just kind of take this side and I spin it without getting covered in brake fluid because that's what is in here, is brake fluid. Nice and easy. Oh gosh, it's dripping everywhere. Take that off, then tread this one on. Okay, so this has got to go like that, right? So normally on an E30, the slave goes like this, or no, it goes like that. That? I think. I don't know. No, anyways, doesn't matter. I'm going to thread this on because this thing's just leaking. I'll try and slow the leak here. But orientation-wise, I want to get this close. Come on. It's covered in brake fluid now. For some reason, I always thought that on the E30 they were upside down, but they're not. So I thought it went like this. I thought it came in on the top side. But this one seems to come in on the bottom side. I'm not really sure. Doesn't make no sense. Seems odd. All right, so I got everything tightened up. What I like to do to bleed the clutch sleeve is actually just like to push it in by hand, because what it'll do is it actually force fluid up through. And if there's any air pockets, air will rise, right? So if you try and bleed it from the top side down, it's not to say that you can't do it per se, but it is much easier to do it this way. So I just want to spray this. Like I was saying, push this in till you feel like you got everything out, because it'll push back on you, you know. Yeah. So, and then you take this and you feed it up, this back up in here, and try not to drop the plunger thing. I don't know what to call it. The slave plunger into transmission. I've done it, and the downside is it's tough to get back out once you drop them in there, but it is doable. I have done it that way too, actually. I think on my son's E46, when we were doing the swap, I actually dropped it and was able to get it back out. So, oh gosh, sorry about that. Just connected to my mic. Throw a little bit of brake clean on here. And we're good to go. So I want to empty this out because I just felt this and this thing's heavy. And I don't have anything coming in for an oil change, but it's just always best to keep it empty. That way I don't forget. But I had to order some parts for the E30 to mount those, to put those headlights in. Mounting them's not the problem, it's wiring them. So you need the Euro pigtails, which I don't have any. I used to have a pile of them because a lot of the same connectors for that were on E36s. And so you could go to the junkyard and pick up a pile of them, but I don't go to the junkyard anymore. And the chances of seeing an E36 at the junkyard is looked over. Oh, sorry, you guys are facing the wrong direction. There you go. I just looked over and saw this needs emptied, so a tower of, oh gosh. I dropped it. Anyways, that's why we can't have anything nice. So I'm gonna empty this, get this out of the way. Take a look at my O2 that I haven't done anything with. It's coming. We're gonna get these projects done for these other people, and then Project 2002 is gonna happen. Gotta come up with a name for it. I don't know. Trash can's emptied. Anyways, I was saying about coming up with a name for this project that's hiding out over here. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think we should call it. Project 02. Project Green Monster, because it's green. I don't know. I'm not going crazy with it. Uh-oh. Should I plan on just doing like just a mild cam? I don't know. I'm not really not trying to make it a race car. If I wanted to make it a race car, I'd probably put a M20 or an S52 or something crazy in it. So I'm like standing here thinking like, oh man, waiting on FCP to like deliver parts. And I'm like, I checked the tracking number, because FedEx used to deliver right to the shop. Now they deliver up to the house, and I've told them a pile of times, just deliver to the shop. Anything, doesn't matter what it is, because I could take anything up to the house. Nope, they just take it to the house first instead of bringing it down here. And I just looked, and there's a picture of my house. I walk up there and grab them. All right, time to unbox what we got. I think this one's upside down, but that'll be okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. Squished them. I don't know what it is with FCP. One time they do good, the next time it's like they brain fart. Like, thanks, FCP. I think I'll be okay. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We got 1 thing of oil, 2 thing of oil, and 3 thing of oil. We're all stocked back up on oil and filters, at least for diesel filters. Time to clean this up. Unbox the other stuff, which actually I know what that is. That's for the X1 that was here the other day. So the one thing I was waiting for was this thing. So you're like, what is that? It's for the e30. It's for the shift carrier. I have a bolt in there right now, but this is the proper thing. So I just need to reach up here, get this bolt out of here. Maybe not. I thought this would be easy. Hang on. All right, so the bolt does not want to come out real easy. Just gonna, there it goes. Now it does. Leverage, right? Like Captain Jack Sparrow says, leverage. He talks to himself. No, anybody? Maybe it's just me. Where did I put that? Oh, replacing this with this. Here we go. Just gonna slide it up in here. Hopefully. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe. Of course. It's not going in the way I thought it would. All right, you gotta give it a little tweak, maybe. Where's that pry bar? Let me get that pry bar. We're just gonna give her a little pry. A little pry to the left. It's not going. A little tappy tap. With the pry bar. Huh. You gotta be kidding me. Why doesn't it want to go in? I know it doesn't want to go in because that's just how things work. It goes in just far enough and then it stops. Which tells me one of 2 things. It's either forward, back, well, one of 5 things. It needs to go forward or backwards or sideways. I don't know. Let's grab a hammer. Grab a hammer. Hammer. Oh, it don't fit up here. Hammer don't fit. Dang it. Let's try this hammer. A little brass hammer. Brass hammer don't work either. So what sucks is you can't really see up there to see if it needs to go forward or backward. You usually just kind of feel around till it goes. The other problem you run into is these Delrin bushings have a pretty tight tolerance, and I understand the point of that, because you don't buy Delrin just to be loose, but it makes it much more difficult for everybody else. Sometimes you just need a bigger pry bar. Oh, come on. It was going. Yeah, apparently it doesn't want to go now. Come on. Ay. Come on. Go in here. Go in your home. Please. Ooh. Scary. Teeter-totter in here. Well, it went in and then stopped. All right, so you can see we got this tore apart pretty far. Because there was a like a harmonic balancer around the guibo, and it was actually hitting the shifter. I didn't realize it. So we got that out. You don't really need it. So I'm looking at the rear output shaft seal. It looks like somebody's been in here before, but I don't know. But I still can't get this thing in. This pin don't want to go in, and I don't know what to do. It's fighting me. So what we're gonna do, and I don't really want to do, but we're gonna take the selector rod off so I can get a better look at what's going on here. Okay. Oh, we can kind of give it the old twistaroo. See, it's not even. Man, it definitely just ain't going. Like, I've had this issue in the past with certain brands of Delrin bushings. They're super, super tight tolerances, which I'm not complaining, but you can't ever get them in. Like, it's unless you got the trans out, forget it. And then what happens is you want to take them out, and you can't get them out. So what's going to happen now, if I could find my pry bar that I had, it was right there. It's a big old bugger. He's like 4 foot long. How do you lose that? Maybe I put it back. Nope. Oh, I know where he's at. He's hanging out back here. He's just chilling back here holding the exhaust down. All right. So now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and pry back on the clip. But what's going to happen is I'm going to end up snapping the little tchotchke off. Yep. So it's like, now what do you do? Like, do you just keep pushing it? All right, so we got everything buttoned up. We're going to drain the fluids here. I'm gonna throw a little bit of my brake. Just want to clean this up so I can get a good look at what's going on. And I did find out that this this car does not have reverse lights. Not because it doesn't have reverse lights, but because somebody didn't hook them up. So we are gonna actually build a wiring harness real quick, because there isn't one hooked up to this transmission. So, all right. So it's important to take the it's important to take the fill port off first, because if you can't get the fill out, or if it's stripped, there ain't no reason to continue to go forward. This fluid smells quite fresh. So we're gonna drain this fluid out of here. We got some stuff to go in it. And then, like I said, I'm gonna make us a wiring harness because their connector's up there. So I'm gonna let that drain. So it's probably hard to see, so I'm just gonna leave you guys where you're at, but the reverse light plug is way up here. So I made a little wiring harness. I gotta figure out how to push it. Gotta find the hole up into the cabin because it's gotta go up in there. So I think what I might have to do is push this up in and go up top, pull the wires up through, then come back underneath, because I don't think I'm gonna get it in. Oh, you know what? We could just do that. Come on, get it in there. Go, 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 go. Oh, God. Ay, 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 go in. I want to check to see if the reverse lights work. That should be reverse. Let's come back here, take a look. Ta-da, they work. So, considering they didn't work before, that's not too bad. We got some things accomplished today. I'm excited because now I'm gonna start working on the video content for the e30 motor. So, as far as this video goes, I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out today. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment if you have any questions. If you'd like to see something different, please comment. I would greatly appreciate it. I got some different things coming in. Next week, I got some exciting stuff going on next week. You're going to have to wait and see. But anyways, we also need to get back on the project for the tree stand thing. Anyways, for those of you who've been here and have seen the first couple of videos, I was making a thing. First trial run we did with it didn't work so well. So I actually have an idea I need to go get some steel. I just have to make it. But anyways, so I'm gonna call it a night, and I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys on the next one.